Right. Okay, guys and girls, welcome back to today's daily news with me, Anthony Kenneth Bishop. And today is Saturday, 16th of July. And yeah, let's see what topics we can see today. Right, as you all know, I don't know if you probably all know, or some of you may know, it's about 30 years now. 30 years, I think it was from the other day, or it's coming up to the 30th year of when Nintendo actually released the Nintendo NES, or Nintendo Entertainment System, which was actually in 1986, I believe. Where is it? Where is it? NES. Right. So the original one actually is way before then, actually, before 86. The console was released on July the 15th, 1983, as the family computer, or the Famicom for short, for 14,800 yen, I think it is. Alongside 3 ports of the Nintendo's successful arcade games, Donkey Kong Jr., Popeye. The Famicom was slow. So there was actually 3 Nintendos released. Now what they're doing now is re-releasing the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short, in the UK, in America, and other places. They're bringing a mini version of the Nintendo Entertainment System out, and it's going to have 30 games built in. And if I go to the website, the people who actually made it have actually confirmed more news on it, because there's been more recent news on it recently, whether it would be connected to the internet, whether it be having like a port so you can port games into it, like ROMs and all that, or whether you can have the online bits, you can actually download the games onto the system itself. Right, the Nintendo has confirmed new details on its NES Mini console, announced yesterday, which was the 14th of the 7th, that would have been, because this was done on the 15th, this was published on the 15th, so this was the 14th when they said about it, and that it won't connect to the internet, so will only play its starting lineup of 30 games. Some had speculated the micro console would connect online, be able to download other NES titles offered as a part of Nintendo's virtual console services. Sadly, this will not be the case. Speaking to Kotaku, Nintendo of America confirmed the device would be a standalone and not support an online connection or external storage. The game lineup was chosen to provide a diverse mix of popular and recognizable NES games that appeal to a wide variety of players. Everyone should be able to find multiple games to enjoy. The company would also not be drawn on plans for other miniature retro consoles such as the SNES Mini. It's likely Nintendo will wait to see sales of the Mini NES before committing. Now, I'm glad they're actually bringing this out. Hopefully this will mean bigger things to come eventually. I mean, what we're going to see, are we going to see a micro version of the N64, the Nintendo 64, and have shitloads, tons of games in it in HD? I hope so. I hope they come to their senses, and because I would love to play the original fucking GoldenEye and the original Donkey Kong 64, and I would love to play like Zelda as well 64. I would love to play Doom 64 on the N64. There's so many classic games out there on the Nintendo. What about Pod Racer? Star Wars Pod Racer? Fucking awesome game. I would actually definitely pay the money for a micro version of the Nintendo 64. I don't care if they're do exactly the same as this. I mean, to be honest, guys and girls, the entertainment system, or the Nintendo NES, right? Now, this is going back about 30 years, so that's in about 83 or something like that, right? Now, because we're in 2016 now, so 2016 back to the Nintendo Entertainment or NES years was a fucking fantastic year. I hope what they should do, right, and I hope actually they're hoping they might actually, because there was actually a USB port on it, so hopefully they can do it in a way, but I don't think there's going to be a way to update it actually, the actual Nintendo, so I think it's pretty much just as it is, it's just a standalone. But maybe they might do it with the NX, which comes out next year, hopefully, and that they actually do it so you can actually download all the games like you're doing with the Wii and all that, the Wii U, the Wii, and all the consoles and combined it together. Anyway, I would love nothing more than a remake or not a clone version, an actual version of the Nintendo 64, but a micro version, like what they're doing with the entertainment system. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this NES, and I'm going to do a review about it. Apparently, you can pre-order them. It's got 30 games in it, so it worked out, back in the days, it worked out around about 30, 40 quid per game. And I remember playing on those, but it's a shame the games are limited, because I would have loved like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would like to play Popeye and all that. And I think they had Final Fantasy 2 and stuff on there as well, somewhere. But I know they got Final Fantasy 1 on the actual NES itself, on the cartridge selection. But there's a few games, Double Dragon, all that kind of stuff with it. Nintendo. Apparently they've confirmed it's coming out November the 11th, but you can pre-order now. And I don't know whether it's limited, if there's like a limited stock amount of them. So I'm going to have a look on Tuesday or Wednesday when I go out, so I can pre-order one from Game. And then I want to get pre-order 3, because I want to get one for my other brother and one for my other brother as well for Christmas, getting 3 of them technically. And that should keep them quiet anyway, at least for a few hours. Same as 30 games, but work out for 50 quid. If it's going to be retailed at 50 quid, like it keeps saying, I think it's around about 50 quid. Right, yeah, I think it's about 50 quid. So it's going to be, right, it's going to come with 30 games, including Super Mario 1, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, and Metroid. And plus loads more all the way up to the 30. And yeah, it should be good. Additional controllers will also be available separately. And the good thing is, I think you can use the Wii U controllers, the actual game pads. And you can also, I think, I don't think it's compatible with the original controllers, so like the NES controllers, I don't think it is. I think they said because the controller bit on the front is much different. It comes with controllers, but in a style version of the NES. So and it's coming out November the 11th with 30 games included and all that, blah blah blah. And The console comes with this NES style controller, which can also be used when playing virtual console games with a Wii U or Wii. Additional controllers will also be available separately, or you can use a Wii U Classic controller or Wii Classic Controller Pro. Right, so that's going to be good. Right, next topic. So this is the gaming one out of the way. This one has some. Okay, so what we got on here? After Brexit, the myth of post-truth politics. Right, the bruised British elites still reeling from Brexit have come up with an explanation for why the masses defied their diktat, voted out of the EU. It's because we are in thrall to something called post-truth politics. We fell for the shiny, colourful demagoguery of the likes of Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson. We were sucked in by their lies, our minds a blur of misinformation. We voted in a way that we went against our own best interests, our mystical sense of injustice, our childish feeling that the establishment and the EU don't like us, proved far greater than the sum of the facts, says a writer for The Guardian. And so we followed the sheep like a political campaign that was riven with lies and misrepresentations. Says the Foreign Affairs, we live in a volatile world of post-truth politics. The speed which or the phrase post-truth politics has entered chattering class parlance is striking. It has become its own truth, and an uncontested one. Ironically, the words post-truth are repeated like a mantra, applied sweepingly to whole sections of society whose crime is that they do not hold the same opinions or ideas as the political cultural elites. Essays are being written about post-truth, no opt crying ink tears over the moronic masses. Vote for Brexit is complete without a nod to it, but what does it mean? It's far from an uncontroversial phrase. In fact, it isn't a useful one. It has a quasi-religious feel, propagating the idea that there is an already existing truth to which we good people have access and which the bad people have dared to deny. This is the truth as a revelation, truth as religion, not a serious enlightened take on truth. The first most obvious problem with wounded Remainers' talk of post-truth is that at the basic level of facts, their own take on the EU and Britain politics in truth to reality to fact, whereas the other side is beholden to lies, as an essay in The Guardian says, attempted to fight fantasy with facts, but quickly found that the currency of facts had been badly debased. In this self-serving fairy tale, the Remainer is a brave, evidence-fueled warrior against the ignorance and duplicity of Leave and its hooked-winked minions, and yet Remain, who also plays fast and loose with the facts. Consider Remainers' claim that the Leave vote was propelled by prejudice. Actually, surveys show that a majority of Leavers voted out because they believe in the principle that decisions about the UK should be taken in the UK, and that is, they believe in democracy. Or consider the most common cry of angry Remainers, that Leavers are anti-migrant and possibly racist. In fact, a recent survey found that 84% of Brits think EU nationals must be allowed to stay in Britain post-Brexit, or think about Regrexit. The idea that huge numbers of Leave voters regret their apparently stupid decision. This notion has been propelled in loads of Remainers, newspapers, columns, and in the statements of the anti-democrats demanding a second referendum, yet this too is fact-light and ipsos. Maury Poe found that only 3% of Leavers regret their votes, while 4% of the Remainers regret that key planks of Remainers, post-votes propaganda that Leave is racist, that Leavers hate migrants, that regret is widespread, have been called into question. It seems it's okay to be a post-truth in the service of the greater truth of the EU, of defending this sacred institution. The second great thing about the post-truth idea is the way it calls into question the intellectual capacity of ordinary people. Just as the Chartists were told in the 1840s that the working classes could not be trusted to vote because they did not have a ripened wisdom and were therefore more opposed or exposed than any other class to the vicious ends of faction. So it's now asserted that the less well-off have fallen for political myths that proved greater than some of facts. The reactionary anti-Chartist arguments about the poor being misled by lies have made a comeback and are now uttered by liberals and leftists, by those who once posed as pro-people but will never be able to strike that pose again. The anti-masses ugliness of the post-truth idea was summed up in the words of Richard Dawkins, who said that ignoramus should have no say on issues like the EU because they cannot comprehend highly complex economic and social issues. So we living in a democracy where we got like the good people, we got the bad people, and they're all having these political debates and all that. And whether people are saying, whether the English people are racist because they voted out to go out of the EU, it's bullshit, to be honest. I myself voted out because I could not stand the EU, right? Basically pointing fingers and telling us what we should be doing in our own country. I mean, we help out, we help out other countries, but yet when we help out and we do all the money and we give all the charity money, right? When it comes to our country, right? Our country is like left behind. If we're in trouble, like money issues and that, do you honestly think that these other countries are gonna fucking bail us out if we go bankrupt or go under? I don't think so. I mean, I'm looking at on the side that, we got out of the EU now, right? We can stand on our own 2 feet. We don't need other countries, like, basically trying to help us and making us look like fucking idiots. And, I'm not racist in a way at all. I've known a lot of people from all different countries, and they think I'm fucking brilliant, and I'm always making them laugh and all that. And racism doesn't come into effect when I'm voting, when I got a vote, and whether a person's made a mistake or not and doesn't want to come out, right, wants to stay in the EU, right? I think it comes down to choice at the end of the day, and it comes up to the people. People have a voice, and if the political parties on either side don't want to listen to that, right, then they shouldn't be in Parliament. They're there to listen to people. They're there